my God, Molly, you need to borrow a cigarette? Oh my God, you need a freaking cigarette. Where's my freaking cigarettes over here? Every freaking time I wake up, I have my 3 cups of coffee and dip my cigarette in my coffee. What? Okay, I don't care. I like to dip my cigarettes in my coffee. It spices up the cheap ass instant coffee I use. But fucking hey, I don't care. All right. And then I told over to my husband, and I'm like, hey, you lazy good for nothing bum. What is wrong with you? Okay. I mean, my tits ain't even sagging down to the floor yet, and he's all like trying to play jump rope with them. I'm like, hey, I don't understand here why the hell you have to have a problem with me. I'm trying to have a good fucking time over here, and you're all like, hey, stop doing that. That's the use of tobacco. Yeah, you know, sometimes I like my freaking coffee and my cigarettes, but you know what I like to do with my instant coffee? I'll take a little bit of the cigarettes, open it up out of the tin. Yeah, I'm old-fashioned. So old-fashioned, I roll my own fucking stogies. So I take some of the tobacco, I dice it up and stick it in the coffee grinder with the coffee, and then I percolate it. And then as I'm percolating myself, because my husband hasn't touched me in years, okay? It's so bad down there that even the vibrator doesn't even want to turn on anymore. I mean, the thing died like 3 years ago, but hey, you know, who's keeping count? Okay, so then I had to use like this stick. It was crazy. I don't, you know. Oh, but anyway, you know, so there I was the other day, and I'm like, hey. So I'm drinking my coffee, and then some asshole had to try in the audacity to try and steal my cup, and I'm like, oh my God. And then he comes out, he takes a sip, and spits my freaking coffee all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you just wasted a fucking gram of Cuban's finest all over my floor. And now here you are. Not only that, you're spitting out my instant coffee. I'm like, you know, this fucking guy. You know, I couldn't really do anything because it was my husband's fucking second cousin. I don't know what the fuck he was. Apparently he was related to my stupid husband. But whatever, you know, it's okay. It's, you know, I do what I gotta do in life because, you know what? You know, I married him mostly for lust. But then at some point, he stopped lusting over me. And I don't know, sometimes I see him eyeing up the neighbor. And I'm like, hey, what does she got that I don't have? And he says a sexy voice. What the fuck kind of answer is that? I'm like, bitch, what? Oh my God, at that point I pulled my panties up. And you know what he said to me? Fucking thank you. He said thank you. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Okay, I fucking broke character. Or Tananitis or something is connected to God. I'd rather have a demon's voice, you know, honestly. But anyway, I think my husband's keeping me hostage in this relationship. I mean, he married into my family because he said he loved me. But then, oh my God, I swear to God, I'd rather talk to the cupboard than him. I talk to him and I'm like, hey, baby, you know, what can I do for you that would turn you on? And he says, talk sexy to me. And I'm like, oh. Hey, baby, you look really good tonight, all right? How about we have a transaction of fluids? Yeah, oh, yeah, you freaking like that, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, what I want to do to you. And he's like, hey, I told you to talk sexy to me. And I'm like, what do you think I'm doing over here? Alright, I don't understand what the hell is going on. Why is he being like that? He's being an asshole, okay? Every time we had to reproduce, he always had this fucking weird fantasy. He'd be like, hey baby, you're hot, but if you love me, you'll put it on. And I'm like, what? And he's like, the ball gag in your mouth. I find it really sexy on you. And I'm like, you know, I would agree to that. I would agree. And I'm like, oh my God, baby, yes. And then he's like, sometimes he's like, hey, you're a screamer. But I don't ever remember screaming, okay? But anyway, you know what? The price was right, and I was like, I bought it. You know, but anyway, you know, Helga does run into her boyfriend. You know, but here's the thing. you know, fuck my husband. This one time I had a boyfriend. Holy God. Oh, you should have seen the tail on that guy. Oh, God. Holy shit. I mean, oh my God. I was like, honey, with a tail like that, I don't ever expect to take it up the seat. But he didn't care. And you know what? We had a good time after that. I was like, you know what? And then, so anyway, he goes on this epic quest the next day. And he's like, honey, I don't remember you. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't remember me? And I'm like, we made sweet love. I mean, technically, I don't think he made sweet love to me. I think we were on the couch. We were having relations, but then, like, there was a tear in the cushion of the couch, and he was actually dry humping the leather sofa the whole time. But I kind of pretended because, you know what? It was big enough that it was doing its magic without it. So I was like, oh, you know, this is the best of both worlds. You know, I don't get penetrated, and the couch, well, I just don't sit on that seat anymore. But, you know, at the same time, you know, he did have this really fancy title, like, hey, I don't know, like, Lord Master of, like, the Tail People. And like the Lord Master of the Tail People. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. Like, where'd you win that? Like, some sort of arena? And you know what? You know what he said to me? He said the king gave it to him. The king. There is no fucking king here, okay? Like, I don't know what king. You know what? It's okay. It's, you know what? He wasn't the brightest guy in the world, but I loved him. At least the couch did. I don't know, but it's okay. You know, it's, yeah, we just don't sit on it anymore. You know, it became my husband, my new husband, okay? The second husband died in a tragic secondhand smoke incident. But you know what? Whatever. It's what it is. That's where I got all my money from. But at the same time, like, he had some shit in, like, academia or academia nuts. I don't know what it was, but, you know, it's what it is, okay? But anyway, oh my God, did I harvest a little bit of that bank statement, huh? Oh my God, is it stacked? And I was like, hey, I'm not really qualified to manage my money, so I hired an e-girl to do that later. And no, I will refund any credits to anybody who redeems it right now, so don't even try it. But in a statement to my bank, what had happened was, I'm like, hey, so when he bombered my schnauzer, and, like, okay, look, I had to lift up my back tail a little bit, but it's, you know, it's whatever, okay, it's whatever. So, I'm really upset with my current husband. Okay, my boyfriend was great. He went off. He pretended we had that amazing couch sex, and he pretends he doesn't remember me. I mean, honestly, he got his schnangle snuck in, like, one of those wires, you know what I mean, that holds the cushion together. I mean, he was really going at it, and then after he was already kaput, he still had to go at it because it was still kind of attached. And he said he would never forget the sex that night. And I'm like, I don't think you could ever forget it either. But then all of a sudden, a fucking Moogle popped out of the freaking sofa, and it's like, Kupo! Yeah, oh my God. You know what? That's probably why you got that one gold Kupo flying around here, because, like, honestly, I think we reproduce that thing. But that's a whole different story. You know what? That we're needing more coffee. Okay, you got some of those coffee grounds with the, you know, the tobacco, and that shit's amazing. You guys gotta try it. You gotta try it. Oh, heaven for mercy. Okay. Oh my God. You know, I did need mercy that day, but. You know, but then my recent husband, he's not the most intelligent man. His intelligence is kind of like that, between, like, a rat and a Roomba, okay? Like, you know, it's kind of, he's on par with that, because all he ever thinks about is sex. But the problem is, he doesn't think about sex with me. I'm like, I'm married to this guy. And then, all of a sudden, he's like, trying to get sex from anybody. I mean, what the hell is wrong with me? I mean, okay, just because he likes to jump rope with my tits that are sagging almost to the floor, but that's besides the point, okay? I'm a tolerant person, okay? But I have the mind sometimes to take my tolerant personality and excuse myself right up his back tailpipe. Alright? Let him fall on that a little bit, okay? Then when hell freezes over it'll thaw some more up there, and yeah, we really give it to them. That's what we do, okay? But whatever. I enjoy my coffee in the morning. Everybody enjoy. I mean, maybe but anyway, I enjoy my coffee. It's the basis of a good breakfast over. You gotta have a good breakfast. Sometimes you gotta get a good laugh with your breakfast. Sometimes you gotta get a voice that sounds like a mix of death in with a fucking Care Bear. And then you do the Care Bear stare, but it's a death stare bear, and then all hell breaks loose. You know what I mean? It's an unforgiving Care Bear, and then I'm like, hey, look, it's kind of like that movie where you're watching West Side Story, but you live on the East Side of and I'm like, hey, I live on the Upper East Side, and it's not a college anymore. It's like a fucking 10-story apartment. It's not the best, but yeah, whatever. Okay, look, my husband's a dirty man, okay? Fuck it. I don't care anymore. He doesn't want to touch me anymore. So it's probably best I don't get, some cooters and the schnooters down there, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, are you satisfied? Saint, are you bloody satisfied?